There are four different times in investment in whatever you do in life. Even if you're a student, even if you're a business person, even if you are learning, even if you are doing one thing or the other, even if you are networking, there are four different times that are very, very important for you to start enjoying whatever you have invested on. Number one is time to learn. That time you start learn different things, you read books, you watch videos, just to have a foundation, just to have knowledge of whatever you put in there. You learn a lot of things, you read books, you go to places, you go to seminar, you learn the skill, you learn different things, you read book, watch videos. Then all these things you are doing, you just want to gain foundation, you just want to have a good knowledge of whatever you are doing. The second time is time to sow. That thing you have learned, you go out there to put it into practice. You start telling people about it, you start struggling to make it happen. You start learning, you start putting it into practice for you to gain something out of it. You start teaching people what you have already learned. You start sowing all this thing, putting it into practice, telling people about it. You start marketing your products. You start doing one or two things in order to make it happen, in order to have a backup, in order to gain tomorrow, in order to let people know what you are doing. You go out there, you sow a seed, you give people those things you have learned, those things you have watched, and those things you have start putting it into practice out there for it to manifest, for the people to know about it. So all these things you are doing, you are sowing. You have learned, that was the time to learn. Now this is the time to sow. You are sowing. So after sowing, maybe if you give it a month, you give it 3 months, 4 months, you give it 4 years, some even give it 4 years, depending on what you are doing. So it has, since you have put it there, since you have sown. So the second stage is time to wait. So you are waiting for those things you have sown, for those things you have put out there to start manifesting. This time you have to wait patiently for it to manifest. You don't just sow a seed, you don't just sow a seed now and you want it to start germinating immediately. After sowing, you have to wait for it to germinate. You have to wait patiently for it to germinate. It may take 2 months, it may take 3 months, it may take 4 months, depending. Likewise, if you enter into university, that time you are in the university, you have to wait patiently for good 4 to 5 years to 6 years, depending on the course you are doing. So as time goes on, you are waiting patiently, you are learning, you are waiting patiently. This is time to wait. So when you finish learning, when you finish training, when you finish doing whatever you are doing and you have sown out there, you have gone out there to sow, let people know whatever you are doing, then you wait patiently. This time you wait patiently for it to germinate, for whatever you have put in there to start germinating. After germinating, then the fourth time is time to harvest. That is the time you start reaping all those things you have learned, all those things you have sown, and all those patiently you have waited. Now this is the time to start reaping what you have put out there. If you have sown a seed, you start waiting for it, you start harvesting it. If you have taught people, if you have invested so much in something, you start reaping, you start enjoying the fruit of your labor. So this is the time to harvest. So the best thing is that may you be there to reap the fruit of your labor, so that you will not be cut short. That will be your prayers, to reap the fruit of your labor, so that not when you have learned, sow, and waited, time to reap it, you are no longer there to harvest it. So that is what you will be praying for. So this is 4 stages of investment. Everything you have to do falls in there. So give it a trial, sow, learn, wait, and harvest. So these are some of the things you have to put in place. These are the various stages of investment. So if you derive joy, if you derive value from this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, share it to your network to gain value. So there are people that don't have patience. If they invested, don't have patience enough for what they have invested to germinate, so that they can be able to harvest it. So have that patience, because these are the 4 stages of investment. In whatever you are doing in life falls under these 4 stages, because you have to learn, you have to sow, you have to wait, and you have to harvest. So these are 4 stages of investment. I believe you learn a lot from this. Share it to your network, give it a thumbs up, and also comment if there are other things I've mixed that you like people to know, you like your network to know. Kindly also share it. I believe you'll be glad you did. My name is Ngozi, your financial advisor, product manager, and a chartered risk manager. See you, and God bless you.